There we go. I think we're live. Check 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Check, 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 check. Yeah, I think we got the right mic on. Let's see. Whoops. Still getting this new setup dialed in. You know, it's not as easy. It's not as easy as it looks. And it doesn't feel very easy. Welcome, everyone. Glad to have you. Good to see you. Rich is here. Joni is here. Gabenga, did I pronounce that correctly, or is maybe the G silent? Keaton's here. Jim, Rudy, Ty. Hey, Ty. Jacob from Sweden. Mind ITAS, that would be Andrew, I guess. Safe House Studios. Ron, glad to have you. Marie's here. All right. Awesome. Kirk, Gunner. All right, I'm loving this. Wow. You guys make my heart proud. Yeah, there you go. Let's see. We need to do something here just to get a grip on what's going on. Bear with me just 1 second. Dashboard. I think that's what I want. Live streaming. Nope, not a camera. Go back. We want an event. That's going on now. And we want the live control room. Yeah, that's what we want, I think. Holy cow, who knows? Who knows? I'm trying to get a number because I just generally, when people stop watching is when we close the show. So there you go. Oh, Kenny's here. Hey, Kenny. Kenny, I have a favor to ask of you if you're interested. And Dave, I don't know if Dave's here, but y'all did such an outstanding job with the interviews at the Streaming Idiots Meetup last year. I'm going to, but I haven't yet, but I'm going to ask you to do that again. That was so cool. We'll talk about that during the show today. Hey, Jerry's here. And Jim, hello, Jim. Jim, I've got a favor to ask of you, too. And Georgetown News Graphic, that's Clint. Welcome. Martin Stuckey's here. It's late night for Martin, or at least it's after supper. Professor B Studios, welcome. Welcome. Ty Young has relocated to Las Vegas. Oh, my goodness. Goodness gracious. So, Ty, does that mean you're going to come to the NAB, National Association of Broadcasters show in Las Vegas on April 7th through 12th or something like that? No, maybe it's the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, the 8th through the 11th at the convention center. You got to come. You got to come. You got to come see the vMix booth. You got to see the PTZ Optics booth. You got to say, Giles is here. Giles, are you coming to NAB this time? Gee whiz. Anyway, Ty, you got to come. You got to come. It's going to be great. Mike's here. Hello and welcome. Glad to have you. Ty says absolutely. I love it. That's amazing. Jan's preparing a late dinner for all of us. Sam is here from Indiana. Welcome. Welcome. All right, Ty's coming. That's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, you're already registered. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, you didn't waste any time then. That's super cool. Super cool. Hey, is this chat over here? It's probably not big enough to see, is it? Yeah, I got to work with that. It's the YouTube chat, you know, and I'm trying to figure out a way to incorporate it in. Anyway, Hassan is here. Welcome. Glad to have you. Oh, by the way, if you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube, wherever you're watching us, come to easternshorebroadcasting.com and click the Watch Live tab. That's where you want to. Giles is not coming this year. Okay. Troy is here. What platforms are you monitoring? The chat, YouTube, or Streaming Idiots page? Actually, Troy, that's a great question. We're monitoring the chat in YouTube. We're not monitoring the chat in Facebook, although we will look at it and respond to that after the show. Rich is here. Rich, are you coming to NAB? I'm hoping. All right, Jan's father called, so we have to wait for Jan to get off the phone. All right, there we go. Anyway, if you're watching us on Facebook, come on over to easternshorebroadcasting.com and click the Watch Live tab. That way, everybody's in on the same chat. That's the key. We want to get everybody in the same place at the same time. Not because, well, not. Let's don't start out with the negatives. Jabs Production says on a 100-inch screen you can see the chat. Okay. No, we want you to come. We want everybody to be in the same place because it's more fun when you're in the same community together. That's going to be the beauty of the Streaming Idiots Meetup. Oh, we're late getting started. Doggone it. How did I mess up that? Oh, I've got one computer that says it's 2:05 and another computer that says it's 2:01, which is 3:05 and 3:01 Eastern Time. So let's get this show off the ground, shall we? We will try. Rich says he would love to, but he's working Monday and Tuesday, so he's going to miss the party. Oh, man. Well, we're going to talk about that in just a minute, and I'm going to try to change your mind. By the way, if you're watching us on Facebook, come on over to easternshorebroadcasting.com so you can get in on this chat. It's a great chat, and there are lots of folks there, and we won't be watching Facebook until later. We're working on how to do all that, but it's really hard. And Troy says, wait, the page and YouTube chat are the one and the same. Yeah, that's right. It's Facebook that's different. My bad. Yeah, what we did is we basically took the embed code from, well, how did we do it? We stole the embed code from somebody and we put it on our Eastern Shore Broadcasting page. And then we changed the live streaming key portion of it. We have to change that every week to get this chat updated. Just like we have to go in and change the key in the video player on the YouTube. So one day we'll do a show about it. It's probably not the best way to do it. But it's one of those things where you find a path that gets you to the grocery store, and so you keep going that path. Yeah, that's it. All right, so let's go. Yeah, let's go. Let's do it. So let me get my notes and switch mics over. And I think that's all I need to do. Is this going to switch? Yeah, that's going to switch mics. So let's switch out this mic. So I'm going to turn this mic off and I'll get over to the set. And let's see, do I have a shot of the set? Come on, Thomas, where are all your shots? Thought I had a shot of just the set from a distance. But I must have done something with it. One sec. Don't go away. What is it? They used to say, don't go away, Matt. Just go away. That's terrible. Terrible. Horrible. All right, well, we missed out on it. So Jim Moline says, is this the right chat? No, Jim. You need to go to a different chat. Oh, and Rick's here. Okay. It's all over now. Okay. We're killing this mic, and we'll be right back. All right. spent a lot of times doing a lot of things today, and one of them wasn't color balancing. I mean, adjusting the color on this camera. So, excuse me, we'll get to that. I promise we will get to that. Oh, there it is. There's the camera I was looking for. It's over there. All right. Well, let's get this show on the road, shall we? Here we go. Well, hello. Welcome. I'm Tom Sinclair. This is Streaming Idiots, another in a very long line of underwhelming live shows about streaming. A streaming show about streaming. How original is that? Yeah. You have reached the edge of the earth. Yes, we are here perched on the edge of the earth. Delighted you're here, though. Thank you for spending time with us this afternoon, this evening, this morning, wherever you might be around the world. I'm really excited to be here with you today. Today's show doesn't have a guest, doesn't have a theme. It's sort of a collection. And so I'm hoping that you'll join in with comments about this collection of things that we have to do. It's is it all about announcements? Yeah, you could say that, but it's some cool stuff, and I don't think that you want to miss any of it. So if you get torn away during this show, figure out when it was when you left so you can come back later and watch it on YouTube or Facebook. We are streaming both to excuse me. We're streaming both to YouTube and Facebook today. In fact, we're streaming two places on Facebook. We're streaming to the Streaming Idiots group, which you have to be a member of. And if you want to join the group, go to facebook.com/group/Streaming Idiots, and you'll get a chance to join. And we're also streaming to the Eastern Shore Broadcasting Facebook page. So for those of you that like the page, you'll get a notice there. And then we're also streaming to YouTube, to the Eastern Shore Broadcasting channel there, and we're taking that YouTube stream and we're embedding it in our website at easternshorebroadcasting.com so that folks that go to the website can see it. So there are four places you can go see it, but it's all the same feed. The chat today will be monitoring. I'm got it up here on the big screen. The chat today we're monitoring is the YouTube chat. So if you're watching us on Facebook, come on over either to YouTube or to easternshorebroadcasting.com and click the Watch Live tab, and then you can get in on the chat. And you don't want to miss the chat. The chat's the fun part. In fact, sometimes the chat's better than the show. You guys are killing me. Oh, you're killing me. Coming up, today is the 6th of February, coming up in April, and so we're casting forward 2 months. 2 months from tomorrow, the NAB show starts. And if you're saying NAB, what's that? That's the National Association of Broadcasters. That's the National Association for Broadcasters here in the U.S. They have a convention and trade show every year out in Las Vegas. And it's a mammoth show. It's one of the biggest trade shows and conventions that Las Vegas hosts every year. And this will be my 4th year of going. I'm really excited about it. The folks at vMix have for the 3rd year invited me to come join them in their booth and help kind of represent them to the world. I don't know why they picked me, but don't say anything. Perhaps they don't realize what they've done. But they're going to be, the convention center in Las Vegas is divided up into lots of different halls. And so vMix is going to be in the southern hall in the lower portion. And I've got a graphic I'll bring up in just a second about what that is. But there'll also be something going on that's right. That's right. There is something else going on that very same week. The Tuesday of NAB, which is, April 9th. Oops, sorry, wrong hand. April 9th. We'll be doing the Streaming Idiots Meetup. This will be our third time to do a meetup at NAB, and this time we're going to change things up a little bit, and we're going to move the meetup at NAB to NAB. Yes, we're going to do the meetup on the floor of the Central Hall in the Las Vegas Convention Center after the show closes for that day. That'll be Tuesday, April 9th. So when you're making your NAB travel plans, make sure they include a stay over on Tuesday so that you can get it on the Streaming Idiots Meetup. Now, what is the Streaming Idiots Meetup? Well, it's just as it says. It's a meeting of all the streaming idiots from all over. Last year we had Martin Kay in from Manchester, England. We had folks from all over the Middle East, and of course all the Australians were there, as well as folks from all over the U.S. and Canada and Mexico and the Caribbean. It was a great party. I should have had a picture of it. Anyway, I'll post some pictures. Jim took some wonderful pictures last year, and I hope he'll help us out with that again this year. But this year we've decided to have it on the floor of the show. Several reasons for that. One was that Scott Whitney, bless his heart, he would have us back, but we filled up his studio to overflowing last year. Scott Whitney's got the Podworks studio in Las Vegas and has been our host for the last 2 years. But I'm just was deathly afraid that as this party got bigger and bigger and bigger, and you know how parties are when they get bigger, you know, friends are inviting friends who are inviting friends who are inviting friends, and you just never know who's going to be there. And I just didn't want to risk Scott's studio because that's his bread and butter. That's how he makes his living. But Paul Richards and Tess Protesto at PTZ Optics reached out to me and said, Tom, what about a crazy idea? What about let's have this party on the floor of NAB at our booth, the PTZ Optics booth in Central Hall, booth number C3326. No, excuse me. Did I get this? Yeah, C3326. That's right. Anyway, if it's wrong, we'll straighten it out later. We'll send you to another booth. Yeah, that's right. You'll have to. It's like, aren't there some people supposed to be meeting here with me? No. We're meeting somewhere else. I'm sorry, that was terrible. So on April 9th, we'll be having the Streaming Idiots Meetup at NAB, on the floor of NAB, at the PTZ Optics booth in the Central Hall. And Paul's making all the arrangements. He's got some crazy ideas of what we can do. But the beauty of it is that it's an opportunity to meet those people that you chat with, that you correspond with by email, that maybe you even FaceTime or Skype with, and you get to meet those folks one-on-one. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We've got some prizes. Not sure exactly what the prizes will be yet, but there'll be some good prizes as we have in the past. Plus, you'll get autographs from Paul and Tess. You know, it's going to be a lot of fun. Last year, Kenny and Dave did some interviews, and Chuck did some interviews during the party, and so we'll try to set that up again and try to have some of the more prominent vendors that at least that we work with here at Eastern Shore Broadcasting to come out and tell you about what's going on with their products. Certainly, we will be acknowledging our good friends at vMix, since, of course, they are the ones that, vMix is just the glue that holds this live streaming world together. That's my thing. You can have cameras and PCs and capture cards and CDNs and all this fancy gear, but in my world, vMix is the glue that holds it all together. vMix is the grease that makes everything work well together. And I'm so excited that vMix 22 is going to be released formally at NAB. All right, so here is the PTZ Optics. Here's the PTZ Optics floor plan. Oh, this is the Central Hall floor plan, and you see the big blue dot. That's the PTZ Optics booth. And the top section where it says PTZ Optics booth, that's the Central Hall entrance, the main entrance. So if you come in that entrance, you'll look for Canon and take a right, or you'll go past Panasonic and take a right. And that'll be how you get to the PTZ Optics booth. If you get to the podcast pavilion, well, you're right there because the podcast pavilion is a stone's throw away from the PTZ Optics booth. If you're looking for the vMix booth, well, that's going to be in the south lower hall. And you see, again, that big blue dot down in the bottom right-hand corner. The entry to the hall is all the way to the left, and you see there's Black Magic out there in the front, and Grass Valley, and probably B&H will be out there somewhere. And if you get about midway back, I don't show the whole hall in this picture, but you get about midway back, and you go down some stairs. And when you go down some stairs, take a right and then go to the second row, and over by the wall is where vMix is. Not quite as convenient as last year, but very easy to find. And I'll be there, and we'll have all sorts of mouse pads and giveaways. Who knows what else we'll be giving away at the vMix booth. That's going to be really fun. So definitely put the PTZ Optics booth and the vMix booths on your agenda. Now, here's the thing. If you haven't already made your reservations, what I want you to do is when you sign up for your NAB Show Pass, use the vMix code LV8835. And that will get you, as of today, it will get you a free pass. Now, at some point, the free pass portion will expire and it'll just get you a discount. So, go reserve your pass today. And make sure you get in on the fun. You don't want to miss out. That's vMix NAB Show Pass LV8835. Why am I telling you all this stuff 2 months in advance? I'm telling you 2 months in advance because you got to get it done. You can't wait to the last minute to make all of these arrangements. Do you hear the big diesel truck in the background? I do, but I've got some noise filters here, so I'm hoping maybe you don't. Be interested to see in chat if folks do in the future. So here we go. Next subject. We got all those other subjects here. We got the vMix booth. We got the Save the Date. We got the PTZ Optics booth. Really excited about the last two things here. And that is, number one, that, boy, my mind just went blank for a second, that PTZ Optics, the folks at PTZ Optics have asked us, the folks at Eastern Shore Broadcasting, to build them we built their first one, to build them another streaming machine. And this time, Paul opened up the checkbook and he said, spend whatever you think you need. Really? Okay. Wow, this is great. No, I'm just teasing. We're very frugal with other people's money, for sure. We want to make sure it's spent wisely. So we've designed an i9 9900X CPU-based system that will be capable of doing 4K in its sleep. It's going to be so much fun to build, and we're going to video building it so that you guys will get a look at that. And then we're going to send it to them, and they're going to take it out to NAB. So if you're at NAB, you'll get to see this machine that we've built. Now, behind-the-scenes look on some of this stuff. Paul and I were talking about NAB and wanting to have some bling, that kind of is associated with this. But really, the last PC I built for them was in a very plain Jane, server rack mount case. Not very exciting to look at, but a screamer for sure. And this one's going to scream even louder. And so Paul said, well, golly, I really want a case with lots of bells and whistles and lights and confetti cannons popping out of the top of it, all that kind of stuff that they do. And he said, can you do that? But I don't know that I want to do that because we don't want that in our studio. It just doesn't fit. We need to put it in a rack. And I said, I'll make you a deal. I'll build it in a fancy case that you'll love. And then when you're done at NAB, send it back to me and we'll rebuild it into a 4U rack mount case that you can put in your studio control room. And it doesn't have the confetti cannon and all that. And you can repurpose the case for something else. So that's what we've decided to do. and we're going to build it twice for him. We're going to build it twice for him. Once for NAB, and then once for putting in the studio. But the idea is that it's going to be extremely functional, extremely powerful. Our friends at Magewell Mobile Video Devices are supplying the capture card for it, and not sure quite yet what capture card's going to go in it. Of course, it's going to have vMix Pro in it. It'll have vMix Pro 22, so it'll be capable of doing all the crazy things that vMix will do, and Michael's going to love playing with that. So we're really excited, and we appreciate the folks at PTZ Optics having faith in us to build them another PC. And by the way, that means that it's time for the infomercial. That's right. That's right. So if you are interested in having us build a PC for you, that's what we do. That's what Martin has made the beautiful display behind me do. And it's not really there. I don't really see it. But we represent vMix, we represent Magewell and Yuan. We're taking on Ada cameras. Of course, we do PTZ Optics cameras, and our best friends at PI Engineering with the X keys. And I've probably left out something. I'm so sorry if I've left you out. All those folks, I hope, are going to be at the Streaming Idiots Meetup at NAB. So if you haven't met Dan and the gang at PI Engineering, for example, you'll get a chance to do that. So that's the infomercial. Go to easternshorebroadcasting.com if you want more information. Oh, and it did it twice. Oh boy, how lucky are we? Let's put that back the way it should. There we go. There we go. Okay. So really excited about PTZ Optics, and would love to build a system for you. One of our biggest customers in systems is churches, frankly. And we love building systems for churches because we can help them avoid so many problems. Just because we've been down that road so many times, we can help them anticipate problems and fix them before they ever become problems. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Okay, last but not least on this show, we posted in the Streaming Idiots group on Facebook, and I think we posted in the Eastern Shore Broadcasting page on Facebook, but if you missed it, you want to be in on, where is number 5? Is that number 5? There we go. You want to be in on this video. This is a video that Neil Tadman made this past week about matching colors, about color correction and matching cameras. And I'm going to put a link in the Facebook offerings of this video, and a link in the YouTube comments about this video. And so you'll be able to go down there and pop to this video. But it's a great step-by-step guide to color correction for newbies. And, you know, that's certainly something that I qualify as. I can't wait to take advantage of it. One of the things you will have to have is you will have to have that card. Let's see if we can flip back to that shot again. And yeah, in the bottom left-hand corner, you see the black, white, and gray in the middle. That's actually a card that you'll need for your camera. You can print one out. I think he printed one out on his printer and used that, and that was somewhat effective, but I think the card will be even better. We were going to do that today, but we didn't have a card and we ran out of time. So I highly commend that to you. It's color correction in vMix by Neil Tadman. Neil is a member of the Streaming Idiots group and a great contributor, and we're hoping maybe he might bump into us out at NAB. That would be super. So if you're struggling with matching cameras of different models or different brands, something like that is going to be a good place to start to get things matched up. And we'll, as we are able to do that here, we'll bring you more information about it and show you how easy it can be. And that's the key. You know, you want it to be easy. You want it to be a path that you can follow, a well-known path that you can follow and do every time to make everything look the way it should be every single time. It really is consistency. You know, it's funny when you talk to professionals in whatever field, whether it's sports or business or medicine or education or whatever it is, or parenting, for example, they tell you consistency is the key. being able to do something the same way every time, if that's the way that gets you success. And certainly I'll tell you it's true in parenting and grandparenting. Consistency is the key. That's it for our show today. We hope you'll join us next week on Streaming Idiots. It's next Wednesday. We hope you'll mark your calendar for April 9th for NAB, the Streaming Idiots Meetup at NAB. And even if you're just popping into Las Vegas for other reasons, come join us Tuesday night. If you live close by, Ty, Scott, yeah, we expect that you'll come by. Oh yeah, we'll also be doing the Streaming Idiots show live from the floor of NAB on Wednesday, April 10th, and I think I have a couple of interviews set up where folks are interviewing me during the show. So I'll make sure that you know about that, and you can come laugh at the stupid things I say. We're going to move into the post show now, so that way I can take your questions and your ideas, because your suggestions are really what drive this show. So I'll be looking forward to that. So with no further ado, we will see you next week on Streaming Idiots. Hang around for the post show. By the way, if you just joined us and you're like, chat, what chat? Come on over to easternshorebroadcasting.com, and that way you can get it on the chat as we move into the post show. Okay? Okay. See you in post show in just a moment. There we go. There we go. Got the mic on. I tell you what, moving from place to place here during the show is a challenge. It really is, and it's kind of thrown me for a loop. It was nice to do everything from one desk, and now I have a control desk over here and a set over there as we continue to get the studio kind of ready to take on real paying clients. Let's see. Life Media Pro is here. I've forgotten who that is. Jerome, is that you? Anyway, welcome. Otis is here. April 10th, I'm doing the Streaming Idiots show. April 9th is the Streaming Idiots Meetup. And never the twain shall meet. Do a drawing for some gear. Yes, we should do that. I'm hoping that I can get some of the vendors that I do business with to have some products that they can. Boy, a great idea just hit me. I'll get back to you on this great idea. Rafael is here. Welcome. The Simple Guy. Watch that video. Great tutorial. Oh, he's talking about the color correction. Even though I've been doing that for some time now, I use a bigger grayscale, 7 bars or more. Oh, that's cool. Where can you get a 7-bar grayscale, or did you have to make it? Tommy says that is an amazing intro and outro made by Martin K. That is indeed. And Martin did all the graphics on the infomercial too. Yep. Jan says, I must admit I would love to be able to do technical color correction. I'm way too colorblind to try it any other way. Well, there you go. All right. Tommy said, I just noticed he has his top button on his shirt fastened so he can hide his I Love Marie tattoo. Tommy, mine is modeled after yours. Troy says, I know Windows-based desktop is the preferred way to stream, but I need portability of a laptop. I use laptops every week for live streaming at the church. Could you recommend a $1,000 to $1,500 gaming laptop to get the job done? Troy, the specs are really simple, and I go to Amazon and look for these specs. If you're in the U.S., that's a good place to look. Number 1, i7 processor. Number 2, 16 gigs of RAM. Number 3, a NVIDIA GTX video card, 1060 or better. 1050 is really the minimum, but a 1060 or a 1070 is superlative. A 1080 obviously is way over the top. I've got an older Asus ROG laptop. I chose it because in addition to those features, it also had a Thunderbolt port, and it's got a GTX 970 card in it, and it just streams. I have a PC here in the studio with a 970 card in it, and I pulled the card out one time to do something else, and I tried to stream with it, and the PC was practically, crippled down to 25% of its power because vMix uses the GPU so much. Simple Guy said he made the scale himself. Marie said, so on the 10th, we will see pictures from the meetup or after the party. Well, actually, at the party, we are going to do some interviews, some live stream interviews at the party. So we hope you'll tune in and watch the meetup. And, maybe we can get a chat so that people can give you shout outs. We'll try to work out some of those details. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So the Simple Guy made the scale himself. That's a great idea. And I guess if you're matching cameras, it almost doesn't matter if your grays are not a perfect gray by photography standards. You're just matching them. I like it. I like it. Write it down before you forget, says Otis. And now I've already forgotten what it is. Cliff says, is it cold on that bluff? No, it is not cold on the bluff. Actually, I need to go down to the bluff and do like a 30-minute video so I can have a live video in the background that doesn't loop. Ron says, is there an efficient way to run through a large number of JPEGs in vMix? Yes, you can do a list. Look it up in the vMix help and do a list. Or you can do a playlist. They're two different things. And you'll have to check and see if every version of vMix has a playlist in it. Jan says, I suggest you make a draw for 2 Bird Dog Minis and let me win them by proxy through Tommy. Well, okay. Jim Jacobs says, here's what's up, gang. Tommy's going to send them to you. Friday's here. How did the week go by so fast? Friday's here? Today's Wednesday. Otis says, what is the spec you're building for PTZ Optics? How much RAM do you recommend? The spec that we're building for them, and we'll publish this, is the i9. It starts with the CPU, the Intel i9 9900X CPU. It takes I think it's a 2011 LGA 2011 motherboard. I have to check on that one. And we tried to find a motherboard that had Thunderbolt on it. We're putting 32 gigs of RAM in there and a NVIDIA GTX 1080 Ti graphics card. We toyed around with doing the 2080 TX, and then Martin Sinclair came on and said, there's no advantage, at least for what we're doing. For other people, yes. For us, no. So we're just going to do the 1080 card. The 1080, not the 2080 card. And then there'll be a bunch of SSDs in there, and then we'll have to see what we're getting in terms of capture devices. So that's where we're starting. And the case, I'd love to do a picture of the case, but I don't want to steal Paul's thunder. It is so cool, so cool. In fact, I'm kind of hoping that he says, oh, Tom, just keep the case. Okay. Marie was just thinking about the stories from last year's after party. Yes. There were some great stories there. And I think we live streamed the drawing, didn't we? That was fun too. Troy says, is it better for you if we log into the Eastern Shore page or the YouTube page? And what would be the benefit of either? Well, it's the same stream. It's the same chat. The benefit for me is that it drives traffic to my page. YouTube gets the views either way, and so it does great for YouTube, but it drives traffic to my page, and you can sign up for my mailing list, and you can shop in my store, and of course this whole show is an infomercial, so there's the deal. Friday is here. Got you. Thank you, Marie. I'm a little slow on the uptake. Japs Production says, I agree on the specs for the laptop, but mine has an internal Intel card and an NVIDIA 1060, and using the internal screen, I guess you have to run the final signal through the Intel card, messes things up. Yeah, there's a way to disable the Intel card. vMix has got some notes in the vMix knowledge base. So go to vmix.com. In the top right-hand corner is the support tab, and go down to the knowledge base and then look for the article on that. But that is a common problem. Yep. The laptops are great. Laptops are great. I really love them. It's a great portable solution. And if you've got if you need 4 ports of video capture, you can drop a Thunderbolt expansion chassis off the side, and it really is a good solution. Really is a good solution. Professor B's thinking about a build for a machine that will run VR and live streaming with vMix, but debating if there's something already built that will work with room to expand. Any tips, suggestions? Not a VR guy, so don't know the specs on VR. I can quote vMix specs in my sleep, but I don't know about VR. So if you'll school me on VR, I can probably answer your question. Jim Jacobs says, is vMix 22 stable enough for real case use yet? Jim, I've been using it since the day it came out back before Christmas. So my answer would be yes, it is stable. Are there some quirks with it, some bugs with it that haven't gotten worked out yet? Yeah, there are a few. But that's what you get with a beta. If I were in a situation where I was doing basketball graphics, excuse me. Whoa, am I boring you guys? I'm boring myself. If I were doing basketball graphics, I would want the ability to use the GT title designer. That's an add-on to vMix 22 and only in vMix 22, so I could do animated titles. The title, what title was it? This title right here that flies in and reveals the date. That was a GT, just a 5-minute GT title, trying to do it very quickly. By comparison, that is just a colored background with some text over it that fades in and out. So that's the old vMix. The new vMix does all sorts of fancy stuff. It's really, really, really cool. Otis says, what happened to what goes on in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas? Well, Otis, we're a different breed. We are people that live our whole life, kind of out in the open. What you see is what you get. We don't hide from the truth. We don't keep secrets. We're not trying to be deceptive. And we want people to join our community. And so that, in some ways, that runs counter to I know you're teasing me, but that runs counter to the Vegas narrative. In this case, what goes on in Las Vegas, we'd love to have you join it, in person. And if you can't make it, then we'll have a live stream that will let you join it to some degree. We're not just going to put a camera out there and pick up random conversation. It's going to be interviews and things like that. Japs Production says, great, thanks for the info. Absolutely. Jan says, just installed a Blackmagic Decklink Quad 2. That's the 8-port SDI card in his 8-year-old HP workstation that has a Quattro M4000, and he's got a new SSD, a 2 terabyte NVMe in the mail, so we can all envy him. And we'll see how the old girl handles 8 cameras. That's right. And Andrew has posted a link to the knowledge-based article. Thank you, Andrew. I'm going to approve that. Apparently, if you put a URL in the YouTube chat, it asks me to approve it or not approve it. So there you go. Rich said, Tom, did you check out the mobile internet gurus on YouTube? They had some good info. Rich, I have not yet done that. Rich, you're coming to the Streaming Idiots Meetup at NAB, aren't you? I hope you are. Tommy says, I don't see the need yet to upgrade to vMix 2. Not complaining about price, just don't see the need yet with my vMix HD. What could I say that would make you want to update, Tommy? I mean, number one, it's going to cost you $60, but if you use the code GIFT, G-I-F-T, at checkout in the Eastern Shore Broadcasting store, you can save 10%. That's it, $6 you can save is my gift to you. I think if you were interested in taking a 4K camera and ingesting that into your vMix HD and using region of interest like we did on the show last week, that vMix 22's virtual PTZ, oh no, the virtual PTZ is only available in 4K or higher. So no, that wouldn't be a feature for you. You can make graphics, but they can't be, oh, you can use the built-in animated graphics. Tommy, that's a great question. I'm going to have to come up with some answers to that. Because for the vMix HD users, a lot of the features, a lot of the really, really cool stuff is 4K and Pro. I mean, I know there are features that are available for the HD, but like the lower thirds that came standard with vMix have now been all animated, and you can use those in vMix HD. You just can't produce any of your own. That's a good part. Dave Edwards. Dave, I need to talk to you. What happens in Vegas gets live streamed on the spot. That's right. What's Tom banging on? Oh, was I banging on the desk? I apologize. Sounds like he's drumming on a big bucket. Well, and the Simple Guy has posted a link to the color correction video. Thank you very much. Tommy says, remember, I'm using cheap IP cameras. Okay, gotcha. Well, then, Tommy, there may not be a benefit. It's funny, and vMix is, Martin and Tim probably run into this problem more and more with every version. Excuse me. I was up late last night. How many more new features can they come up with? I mean, at some point, incorporating NDI, vMix was the first ones other than Telestream to incorporate NDI. I mean, wow, how huge was that? They came out with vMix Call. I mean, how huge is that? They've come out with color correction that we're all going to start using right now, and that was just huge. That was vMix 21. What were some of the other ones? Boy, we take them all for granted now. So it's going to be hard for them to come up with some great new features. I agree, although I have some ideas for them. Rafael says, Tom, will we be able to get any more free vMix set in the future? My guess is, and this is not an official vMix proclamation, this is my opinion. My opinion is that vMix has been lovely in allowing free updates in the past. You could update from 16 to 17 from free. You could update from 17 to 21 from free. Numerical updates, even though their policy was it was $60 a year, the kind of wink, wink, nod, nod was that you could do it for free. And the time has come, finally, for them to monetize their upgrades. And I think they're, holy cow, that's a huge 18-wheeler that's about 6 feet outside my door. I think that it's overdue, and I think it's only fair that when they put out a killer feature that they get paid for it. In the past, when you upgraded from vMix 20 to vMix 21 and got the color correction tool, you got it for free. You bought vMix 99 years ago, and you got the color correction tool for free. When we went from vMix, 19 to 20, I think, whenever vMix Call came out, That was free. You didn't have to pay for it. Oh my goodness. And vMix has been giving us gifts for years. So the fact that it's going to cost 60 whole dollars US, that's $5 a month, to update to the latest greatest version. I think that's I think that's still incredibly fair. I mean, I remember back when I was the VidBlaster guy. You remember those days? That's going to take you way back. And VidBlaster Pro was $9.95, and the upgrade from one version number to the next version number was like $400. The Wirecast, I know their upgrades, depending on whether you have the Studio Edition or the Pro Edition, at least in the past, they used to be, $195 or $395, depending on which version you had. It was so, I mean, and it's understandable. They're in business. They're in business to make a profit and to stay in business. And here comes that 18-wheeler again, and he's going to park. No, he's not parking right outside my door. That's good. Can y'all hear that? Boy. So I think we have enjoyed a great deal of love from vMix in the past, and it's not that the love stops. It's just that they're a business and they have to stay in business, and it's only fair when they put together an awesome update that they get paid for it. So that's my sermonette on that. So $60. I tell you what, I'm going to have a contest. You see, and I'm going to give away some updates. I'm going to give an update away every show between now and NAB. How about that? So somebody in the chat is going to get an update, and I'm just going to close my eyes, and I'm going to point to the chat, and whoever gets it, gets it. And if you've already got it, you can give it to somebody else. You don't get $60 from me. But so remind me of that next week. Oh, you say you want to do that this week? Okay, everybody enter something in the chat in the next 5 minutes. I'll point on the screen, and let's see. We can take 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. We can take 16 entries into this giveaway, and you have 3 minutes to type in there, and then I'm going to point. All right, there, yeah, people are entering the contest. There we go. There we go. You can only enter once. If I see you in there twice and I pick your name, you're out. All right. GT is awesome, Byron. I agree. It is indeed. Safe House Studios. Tom, did you ever say if you do an East Coast meetup? That's a great idea. Actually, I'm going to be in Atlanta the last weekend in March. Maybe we can do something then. Simple Guy never uses plain white paper. All right. Tom, for the NAB meetup, do spouse or significant others need to register for an NAB Pass to get in from the meetup? Probably they do, Kenny. Probably they do. All right. All right, so everybody's in. Oh, golly. Here we go. Here we go. Got to spin myself around. And I'm pointing to the screen. Oops, missed. Let's try again. There we go. Simple Media Solution wins an update. There you go. Simple Media Solution. So here's the deal. Simple Media Solution, PLE. Send me an email at tom@easternshorebroadcasting.com, and I will send you. And in the email, send me your vMix license key, and I'll get it updated. There you go. There you go. So there's free stuff. There's free stuff. All right, so So yeah, if you guys want to meet me in Atlanta on, let's find a date. There's a calendar around here somewhere. On March 30th. March 30th. We can do something in the evening. And I am staying at the Hilton Airport. And I'll put this together and make it more official. But we'll do something in the lounge of the Hilton Airport on March 30th. You want to do that? So this is the East Coast. There we go. Did I just erase everything I just wrote? Oh, there it is. All right, there we go. So, Jan Weston says, vMix should really put PTZ control in the HD version. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. No way they're going to take features that other people paid more money for and drop them down. I mean, that's just my opinion, but they've never given me any indication that they were going to rearrange the feature set. Bye, Troy. See you later. Congratulations to the winner. There you go. Congrats. Are you staying in the red light district? No, I'm staying at the airport district, Tommy. I'm not staying in the places that you generally hang out in. Jim says, I can bring some stuff if you want to stream it like Las Vegas. Well, there you go. Well, actually, I was just thinking that we would just hang around and have a lemonade together. But we could stream something. Security will block everyone. I think Jim is saying that that's the access to NAB. Yes, Simple Media Studios, Simple Media Solution 1. I was just pointing on the screen. And, you know, that really means that we're going to have a bigger screen with more, with more options for people to enter. Oh, I know what we'll do next time. I'll say pick a number between 1 and 100. And I'll have a number in my head. And the person that comes closest to that number gets the, without going over, gets the giveaway. And if 2 people pick the same number, we'll give away 2. The truck sound earlier wasn't that bad. Yeah, that's like, Dad, the dent I put in your car is not that bad. Jan says, very things are set in stone for vMix, but a few things are. Feature set, version, size is one of them. Yes, it is. Along with, there will never be, never, Jan, that should be capital N-E-V-E-R. There will never be a Mac OS version. Why would you want to run it on a Mac? Holy cow. Simple guy, lemonade and rum drinks. Okay, well. Oh, Jim says the airport bar is my, no, not the airport Hilton. The airport Hilton, the lounge in the airport Hilton. I'll post information about it. Jim says he didn't win, he's leaving. Well, Jim, don't let the door hit you on the way out. I'm teasing. 54 no, Jan, that's next week. But we'll remember that for next week. Raphael says, why not 1 to 10 would be better? Yeah, I'd have to give away 20 licenses. Tom, what number is in your head? Well, there you go. Jim says it's 99. All right, back to work, Professor B Studios. Everybody pick 50 and we would all win. Well, that's only if 50 were the number in my head. And I'll write it down in advance. And then I'll look at what you guys say and then I'll show you. That way, I won't be saying, oh, my favorite person says 42. I'll pick 42. AGL says, Tom, trust me, that wouldn't so work. I've tried that method for giving things away. Well, let me try. Let me try and see. Jan says, my apologies. There will never, ever be a vMix for Mac OS. No, that's true. That is really true. There will never, ever be a vMix for Mac OS. And Martin and Tim are not going to budge on feature set. I have beat them up one wall and down another. And they're just not interested in playing that game. It is what it is. I mean, when vMix Call came out and vMix HD had one caller and vMix 4K, which is twice as much, had two callers, and vMix Pro had 8 callers, you know, there was just a scream. But that was the way they decided to do it. I might not have done it that way, but that was their choice, and it was a killer feature. That is one of my favorite features in vMix is vMix Call. You know, every time I have a guest, I use it. In fact, I want to do a couple of roundtables here in the future, and we'll have, you know, 5 or 6 people in the roundtable, plus me, so 5 or 6 people calling in, assuming I've got enough bandwidth for that. And that's the key. And let me just preach on that for a minute. If I'm hosting a vMix Call, I determine how much upload bandwidth I'm going to use sending you, my guest, video. I can send you, you know, 240 video, 240p video, which isn't going to cost me next to nothing in terms of bandwidth. And you know, you really don't need to see everything in great detail. Everybody needs to see me in great detail and to see you, but you don't need to see it. It's going to come back to me at hopefully 1080p. All right, what number, blah, 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 blah. Jan says, well, Tom, when you think of 54 next week, I've already guessed it. Well, obviously, I will not be picking 54 next week. Rafael says, use some balls with some numbers in a jar, Tom. No, I want to guess. I'll write it down on a piece of paper, then I'll show you. Because I want it to be my choice. So think about the kind of numbers that I like. Jan says, Tom, we should pin a post in the Facebook group saying, no, there will never be. Yeah, really. Byron says, you can't get a Rolls Royce in a caddy. What kind of caddy are you thinking about? Just like, you know, the little cup holder caddy that used to clip onto the windows? You're talking about a Cadillac. Gotcha. Rafael says, Tom, how many replay cameras in vMix 4K? 1. Is this a trivia contest? 400 says, I have vMix Pro myself, and vMix Call is awesome. Yeah, man. Loving it. Jan says, I should never appear on 4K video unless it's out of focus. Well, hold on a second. I can think of a scenario where you would be delighted to be in 4K video. Let's say that your surgeon needed to see something about your head. Your brain surgeon needed to see something about your head. You know, 4K is probably the way to go. Just teasing. Otis, how much upload bandwidth should be the minimum? If we're talking about for vMix Call, and let's say, here's the math, and I'll do it for this show, and you can interpret it for your show. For this show, we upload to YouTube at 2.5 megabits per second. We upload 2 streams to Facebook, each one at 1.5. So that gives us 3, 4, 5.5 megabits per second right there. 5.5, let's just call it 6. It's because there's some audio in there too, obviously. Bye, Kenny. I'll be in touch. Love you, man. So that's 6 up. And then if I'm doing a vMix call with you, Otis, and I'm going to send you, let's say I send you, let's find it here. I'm going to send you, if I send you 240p, that's going to be 300K BPS. If I send you 720, that's going to be 1200 or 800 or 2000, depending on which one I choose. If I send you, I don't think there's a 480 choice. There's a 360 choice for 500K. So let's say I've got 6 people and I'm sending them all the 500K each. So that's 3000K right there, or 3 megabits per second, round numbers here. So we got our 3 megabits per second for our 6 participants, and then our 6 megabits per second for our upload. 3 and 6 is 9. I have 20, do I have 20? I think I have 20 up here, and it fluctuates. Remember, internet speed is going to fluctuate. And I really don't want to use more than 60% of it. So 60% of 20 is going to be 12. And so if I've got 6 and 3 is 9, I'm under 50% of my available bandwidth. So let's say I'm doing 8 callers at 500 each. That's 4 plus the 6 I have already. That would be 10. So yeah, I could do 8 callers and stream 3 live streams, and use exactly 50% of my advertised bandwidth. So there you go. Bye, Jim. Great having you around, man. Jim and I met in a restaurant several years ago. Remember that, Jim? I gave him a present at that restaurant. He left that present in the restaurant. You rascal. All right. So there you go, Otis. That's my answer. Simple Guy says, place the piece of paper in my shirt pocket, I think is what he meant to say, so that we would know you did not cheat. I can do that. We can do that. Although I don't have a shirt pocket. I could put the number on a page on my website, and then I could give you the URL to the page, and everybody could go to that page and see who got the winning number. There you go. All right. I like that. Tommy Willis. So surgeon opens Jan's head and gets an echo. There you go. Jan has been using vMix Call between his 2 Pro machines, an easy way to make a 2-way link. I agree. I need to do a show on that one. That's when NDI is not available. Yeah. Rich, oh my God, math. Is it too late in the day to do any math? Oh, it is too late. Yes. Yeah. And Jim got his gift back. I had a mug for Jim. That was back in the VidBlaster days. I had a VidBlaster mug made up for Jim. And I hope you've sold that at a garage sale. I would have. It's a collector's item. That's right. Otis says thanks. Raphael, love the show. Yes, he forgot the R in the shirt. That's okay. All right. 400AGL says, Tom, can you please explain how to set up the BW, how to set the bandwidth up to your caller in vMix Call? Oh, yeah. Once you've set up a vMix Call, you can choose it when you set it up. You can choose what the outgoing will be. I think, let me just confirm that before I lie. All right, video call. Yes, when you set it, it says the return feed to guest. You want to see a screenshot? Okay, golly, I'll do a screenshot. You guys are so demanding. You really are. Just demanding. Okay, so let's see. That's the screenshot. So I'm gonna, and we're gonna do one thing with the screenshot. We're going to sharpen it so that you can see it a little better. And so I'm gonna go to add input. I'm going to pick a video call. And right here it says return feed to guest. And I can choose what source. So I can send the output, which is the streamed output, or I can pick outputs 2, 3, or 4. I've got the Pro edition, so I've got extra outputs here that you might not have if you have the HD edition. And I can set output 2, 3, or 4 to any other input I want to. And then here's where I set the bandwidth. I've got a choice of anywhere from 240p at 300 kbps to 1080p at 4000 kbps. And then I can set my audio source. Or if I have a vMix call already done, I can right-click it, and here I've got the same choices in returning video bandwidth to guest. And I can change my audio source and video source. I can also open Call Manager and get statistics about what all the calls are doing. Obviously, I've got a bunch of calls set up here, and nobody's using them, so they don't have any population there. So that's how you do that. That was quick and dirty. When is my next vMix class? Otis, I was thinking about doing something after NAB. We'll see. We'll see if you guys have some ideas on some classes. Maybe we just do a series of 4 evenings Q&A and ask anything you want. Most people that were interested in the vMix 101 class have already taken it. Byron says, Byron's going to be at the Atlanta Meetup, aren't you, Byron? Tom, I created a title in GT with green screen background. It works perfectly, but it is static. It is static. Huh. That's a feature I didn't know vMix had. So it makes tattoos. It's static. I'm teasing you, Byron. Tell me what you're talking about. Jan, anyone have experience using those white balance filters you can find on eBay to do white balance? That's a good question. I saw one of those the other day. 400 says, thank you very much, sir. Sir? Really? Okay, you're welcome, sir. Or ma'am. I don't really know, do I? Yeah, I'd like to know about the white balance filters too. So what is static? Static. All right, well, did you do animations? Did you tell it to do animations? Do you need a class on how to do animated titles? Is that what we teach, Otis? And then you ask all the other questions afterwards. Jan says, Tom, when you have a remote guest, it can sometimes be a good idea to send them a return feed that's composed of your camera feed along with live output. A lot of times, Jan, and that's a good point, I will send people back just my camera feed so that they're talking to me and not talking to whatever's going on the stream. Sometimes it can be, vMix call has got a little bit of latency in it. And the latency can be anywhere from, 100 milliseconds to 300 milliseconds. And that's one-way latency. So it's going to be the same thing coming back. So you've got 200 to say 500 milliseconds of latency. If they're watching the return video of themselves, then they're going to see all that latency, and it's going to throw them off a little bit. So that's why you would send them just your own video and not send them back their own video. Cliff Sobel says yes. Yes. And Cliff, I caught parts of your show yesterday. Sorry I didn't catch the whole thing. I'm not interested in nutrition or lacrosse. Byron says, I did, and those worked. I can't change anything. Do you have vMix HD or 4K or Pro? In the HD, you can't build an animated title. John, hey John, PTZ Optics did a video on using those white balance filters. I thought I remembered that. 400 says, also a sir and just showing respect. You don't need to show respect here. we're all in the, the name of the show is Streaming Idiots. Give me a break. No respect. Jan says, but many guests want to know what you show on the stream. Well, I can get that, especially if it's an illustration or a video that they may want to comment on. I get it. All right, Jan is posting a link to the white balance filter. So that's why you send them the composite. Yep. Yep. No, I agree. I agree. And a lot of times, with more experienced guests, I just send them the show feed. And the other thing I'll do is, sorry, I'm putting up, obviously I have a green screen behind me today and not the wall that you've seen in the past, trying to make this little control booth into a little bit of its own studio. What was I saying? So I'll talk with my guests and say, okay, here's the deal. Here's the, single shot of me. Here's the double shot of you and me. And then here's a single shot of you. And I'm going to use this as a way to kind of let you know what's going on so that when you get the full screen of yourself, that's kind of my letting go of the reins and saying, go for it, do whatever you want. And when I come back to the side-by-side shot of the two of us, that's my way of saying to you, hey, I want to ask a question or I want to interject a comment. Or you're a little long-winded. So, or sometimes I have to cough or, scratch my head or my nose or something like that. So I'll go back to a single shot of them and then come back to a double shot of me. But for the most part, I'm using that as a way to kind of help direct the flow of the show. All right, Andrew says, Cliff, did you have sound issues on your sound show? It sounded like you had two mics open out of phase. I know exactly. It wasn't mics bleeding. It was Cliff, we need to talk about. I know exactly how to fix that. What happened was when you switched to the shot that showed your director, it opened her mic and it left your mic open also. So her mic picked up her and you in the background, and your mic picked up you. And so that's why there was that echo. And so if you'll make a trigger on when she clicks on the input to send herself to program, if you'll make a trigger on that input on transition in to turn off your mic, and then on transition out to turn turn off on transition out to turn your mic back on. That will do it. It's not perfect because it means that anything you say is kind of heard in the background, but at least it'll prevent double audio. There we go. That's how to fix that. HGB Productions from New River, New Jersey. Well, you're here, Hassan. I mean, we're glad you're here. All right, Marie's got to leave. That means we still have to behave, though. Jan went back to the PTC Optics blog to find the filter. Simple Guy says, in the days of VH Video, Canon, Panasonic made WB lens caps. Huh. Jan should be sent to bed in 48 minutes. All right, Lloyd's here. Went AFK for a minute. Well, we're glad you're back. Cliff says, I need to call you. We have a list of items to speak about. We had 4 mics. I get it. Yep. Jan, sorry about the FUBAR day at work. That's no fun. But hey, that part's over. You've had Streaming Idiots for an hour. Hey, Butch is here. Hey, Butch. How's the fishing? Butch is a fisherman. I mean, a big-time, deep-sea, big fish fisherman. I bet he's got a sailfish that he's caught in the past. Yes, Cliff, we'll talk. And at some point, Cliff, I'm going to start charging you money. Not yet. Lloyd keeps missing all the good parts. Well, the whole thing's being recorded. You can go back and watch it later, but somehow watching just chit-chat later is not quite as much fun as watching the live stream live and interacting with the folks. I get that. I do get that. All right. Let's see. What are we doing here? What did I want to do? I wanted to go. Bear with me just 1 second. Yeah, there we go. That's the deal, Cliff. And I'll tell you about it. Because I don't want to betray any confidences. All right, what is the, what is going on here? What is going on here? I thought YouTube used to say how many people were watching at any point in time. Oh, yeah, there we go, 40 watching now. Got it. Don't know why I couldn't see that. What was the other thing I was going to say? Brain went blank. Brain went blank. Yeah, I've got a question for you guys, and this would be really helpful. Typically, recently, I'd say in the last year, we've streamed to Facebook and to YouTube, and we've streamed the whole thing: the pre-show, the show, and the post-show. And so far as the recorded video, I mean, so far as YouTube and Facebook was concerned, the video was whatever it was, hour and 10 minutes, hour and 40 minutes, whatever it was. That was the show from their perspective. From my perspective, I'm going to approve Jan's question here. He was talking about his FUBAR day. I also record just the show, from the show opening to the show closing, which of course is just a subset of the entire broadcast. And I used to post that separately on YouTube as, the show. And then I realized it was sort of confusing to have the big show and the little show at the same time. And now I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe, somebody going back to watch something after the fact would say, hey, this hour and 20 minute stream is too intimidating. I don't want to watch an hour and 20 minutes. And so they don't watch any of it. But yet at the same time, I don't want an hour and 20 minute stream and a 30-minute stream sitting out there that essentially have the same content, because it's confusing, and I certainly don't want to be deceptive. I'm trying to get extra views, so I'm posting it twice, that kind of thing. I'm reading Jan's post here, trying to figure out what in the world he's talking about. Okay. So that's my question. I'd love to get some feedback from you guys, whether it's now or later. It doesn't matter. The more you can share with me about that, the more helpful it becomes. Let's see. I think it has come time for us to close out this show. Yeah. But thank you for hanging around. Thank you for watching. I loved hanging out with you guys. It's the highlight of my week. I got to go back and ship a PC and order some parts for a Screamer streamer. And Byron says, don't sweat it. Otis says the show plus the post show. Well, thank you. That's very helpful. All right. All right. All right. So there we go. John says, outsort the migration. Okay. So we'll catch you guys next week and see what we can round up as a show for next week. In the meantime, have a great week. Have a great weekend. Don't forget to make your plans for NAB. And I will catch you guys on the flip side. And we'll just let it run out a little bit so I don't cut you off.